Thank you very much for the invitation to speak with you at this important meeting in the National Assembly of the French Republic. C'est un grand plaisir pour moi de pouvoir participer dans cette discussion très importante sur la question des Rohingyas, de la crise à Myanmar et aussi à Bangladesh, et de vous parler directement sur les conclusions de mon rapport. I'm very happy to talk to you about the conclusions of my report. As you know, I was appointed in October by Prime Minister Trudeau to give him more information and perspective on what's taking place in Myanmar and Bangladesh. And my conclusions were published just a few weeks ago in a report called Tell Them We're Human. That title comes from a conversation that I had with a refugee who was very articulate and very direct in talking to me about what had happened to him, the history of his discrimination in Myanmar, the difficulties that he'd had in doing his professional work, and his decision to leave the country as a result of the intimidation and the brutality that took place in August of 2017. It was a very blunt conversation, and at the end, I asked him, what did he want me to tell Mr. Trudeau as directly as I could? And he looked at me and said with a great deal of emotion, tell them we're human. This has led to the first conclusion in my report, and that is that the Rohingya people need to be listened to. Their voice needs to be heard, and their political ambitions and their desires for themselves and for their families needs to be better understood. In many ways, we've kind of objectified the refugee crisis. We talk of the refugees only as being victims. But the reality is that this is a vibrant and resilient people who are seeking to find their place, seeking to find their homes again, and seeking to find the protection and the concern and the focus of the international community. That's precisely what I tried to do in my report with four major conclusions. First, that we need to keep the humanitarian crisis in Bangladesh and Myanmar at the forefront of what we do. We need to recognize the severity of the humanitarian crisis. We need to understand that with the rainy season upon us, the challenges facing the refugee community will be even greater than they have ever been before. This is a crisis that has not received the world attention and the world focus that it deserves. It has not received the financial support that it deserves. I'm pleased to see that some countries are coming forward with greater help for the UNHCR, for Bangladesh itself, and for other agencies to help those who are really in need. But we need to recognize that the needs are greater right now than the response that's coming from the rest of the world. So this is the first priority, to deal with the humanitarian crisis. But we need to go a step further, and this is my second point. Every humanitarian crisis has a political solution, a political response. And we have to look in Myanmar itself to figure out how we can ensure the safe return of the Rohingya people to their lands and their communities. We need to make sure that the conclusions of the Annan report are in fact implemented. We need to do everything we can to make sure that it is not just about building the infrastructure that will allow people to return. It's about changing the infrastructure in people's minds and people's hearts that is currently preventing the kind of truth and reconciliation process that is required. Third, we have to focus on the question of impunity. We know that crimes against humanity have been committed. And wherever that evidence leads us, wherever it takes us, that is where we must go. That is a direction we must take. And we must be firm and clear about it. There are many avenues that can be supported. The ICC, the referral to the ICC from the Security Council, the need for us to look at a triple IM approach, the need for us to gather evidence systematically, and in gathering that evidence to ensure that it can in fact be protected and used against those who are responsible for the death and the brutality and for all the other crimes against humanity that have been committed, including potentially the crime of genocide. Finally, we need the countries of the world to work together more effectively, in cooperation with the Rohingya community, in cooperation, of course, with Bangladesh and with Myanmar, and with the people of Myanmar. And that is a direction that we must follow. Canada will be, I think, as a result of all of the efforts that have been made, all of the pressures that have been brought to bear, Canada will be a more active participant in these discussions than people might have thought before. We're trying to provide some of the approaches that we think are necessary and to encourage other countries to join with us. Le Canada est prêt à participer dans cette question de la crise Rohingya. Nous sommes prêts à écouter les voix de la population Rohingya. Nous sommes prêts à répondre plus rapidement à la crise humanitaire, qui est même pire maintenant qu'il était avant. Le Canada est prêt à voir comment nous pouvons aider à la réconciliation et aider au changement politique au sein de Myanmar. Et nous sommes prêts à travailler avec toutes les forces de la société civile pour assurer que les choses vont changer. On parle beaucoup à Myanmar de la question d'infrastructure. C'est surtout une question de l'infrastructure des cœurs et l'infrastructure des cerveaux, parce que c'est les sentiments des gens qui doivent changer, et les sentiments de ceux qui sont présentement dans le gouvernement face à cette situation. Nous devons faire face au problème de l'impunité. On ne peut pas laisser ceux qui sont responsables pour les crimes contre l'humanité de pouvoir aller sans considérer les conséquences de leurs actions. Et c'est pourquoi le Canada est en train de proposer des moyens où nous pouvons encore faciliter des actions concertées des pays pour assurer que ceux qui sont responsables auront un moment d'avoir leur responsabilité considérée par un tribunal qui peut trouver des solutions. Finalement, nous pensons que les pays doivent travailler plus fortement ensemble. Je suis très fier et très heureux que c'est l'Assemblée nationale de la France qui est maintenant le foyer de cette discussion. Et j'espère que la France, l'Allemagne, l'Europe, les pays de la région, tous ceux qui voient la crise et comment la crise est sérieuse et jusqu'à quel point vont pouvoir travailler mieux ensemble. Et ça, c'est quelque chose que j'ai proposé dans mon rapport. Alors, je vous remercie beaucoup pour l'opportunité de vous parler. Je regrette que je ne peux pas être en personne, mais je vous souhaite la bonne chance et une bonne conférence et j'espérons que les choses vont changer. Let us work together for change. Thank you very much for allowing me to join you. It's been a great opportunity for me to say a few words about my report, but I also want to say that I regret I can't be there in person and wish you well in the work that you're doing. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.